Let's dive in. It's 3:02 Mountain Time. It is time to get rocking and rolling. Again, this is a 6-part training series called Activated. And day one, we are going to be getting clear on your reason for being. There is this Japanese concept called ikigai. Ikigai, and it translates to a reason for being. And in the chat box, in the comment thread, feed, whatever I want to call it today, I'm going to I don't know if it's going to let me do it right now while we're live, but afterwards I'm going to come back and I'm going to share this image with you that is, it's like a little Venn diagram. You can imagine 4 different circles overlapping, and it'll be a good visual reference when you look back on it to understand what we're going through today. But for now, I just want to say thank you for joining me, and it's brave of all of you to be showing up and to be using this time to get clear on your reason for being. And so many lovely human beings have come into my space, and I keep hearing that they feel inspired to create and to give. Who of you listening are feeling that energy right now to create and to give? But oftentimes they don't know what they want to create or what they want to give. Also, let me know if you resonate with that. And so then they try to do everything. Does that sound familiar? Just trying to do it all. So for example, you may, from your friend, you might hear from your friend who is asking for help with her fundraiser. And you say, let me help you with that fundraiser. And then your mom might ask to help her with some paperwork. And you say, let me help you with that. And then you see an opportunity to be part of something online and you go, ooh, count me in. And then you see a freebie to download. Maybe it's on how to launch a business. And you say, give me, I want that, I want access. And then you hear about a community healing event and you say, yes, I want to help the world. And then you get inspired to launch something of your own, an idea of your own, like, I don't know, maybe an adult coloring book or a coaching business or a product-based business like essential oils, and you don't do it. You stall. You make excuses. You procrastinate. And then you go back to helping other people instead of fulfilling your own dreams and passions. Who relates to this? Okay? And it's okay. It's okay. We're here to become more conscious and aware of that today. But who is relating to this story? When someone else asks for help, both hands are up. Count me in, sister. I'm there. I got your back. And then when you have your own idea that you're probably really excited about, you don't do it. You hold yourself back. Maybe you even have some self-sabotaging behaviors. So what are some examples of when you have sacrificed your own dreams or passion in order to help someone else with theirs? I did this in my old career. I was a ghostwriter. That's part of the role that I played, was a ghostwriter. I did all the work and someone else put their name on it. I took a back seat and watched her step onto stages using words that I helped her write. And I took her stance on issues. And there wasn't anything wrong with that job. That's what I had signed up for. It just wasn't truly what I desired. It wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to be seen. I wanted my ideas to be heard. I wanted to rise up into my own power. Who resonates with that? It wasn't until I started my business that I started to pause and to ask myself, what do you think, Sarah? How would you go about it? How would you do it? What is my stance? What do I believe in? What am I going to do about it? What creative solution, innovative idea do I have? And after years and years and years of not asking myself these questions and priding myself on being a go with the flow person, I finally realized that I didn't even have clear answers to these questions. And in some sense, I had stopped thinking for myself. But here's the thing, all of you listening. Group think doesn't change the fucking world. Paradigm shifts do not occur when we stand in line and wait our turn. Transformations do not happen when we're too afraid to take action. I was looking at some statistics this past week shared by another thought leader in the space. And it was so interesting to see how through breakdown comes breakthrough. And we can see this in history. Mind Body Green was created after 9/11 job losses. Mind Valley was also created after 9/11 job losses. Uber was created after the 2008 recession. Airbnb, which I'm a host of, we got an Airbnb house, was also created after the 2008 recession. And these are examples of how through breakdown comes breakthrough. And to stop right now and ask ourselves hard but empowering questions. What legacy do you want to have on this planet, on your community, on your loved ones? When my brother Joe died this past October, I sat down to rethink my answers to all of these questions. Grief has a way of cracking you open to your core and pulling out your truth. Sometimes it's painful and ugly, but it has a way of doing that. And the thing is that we transform in times of challenge. We transform in grief. We transform in physical pain. We transform in breakdowns. We transform in discomfort. The agitation we feel in our body is ultimately a message from our internal source, from our body. And it's asking us to change. It doesn't want to go back to the way things used to be. That's not the point. Instead, we are being activated. We are being called upon to shift. And we are all experiencing different things right now. We're all experiencing different things. But I trust that if you were called to listen to this 6-part training for empath entrepreneurs, that you are looking for the bright spots within your life and on the planet right now. So that brings us back to this ikigai. I'll show you that picture afterwards. I want you to think of these 4 overlapping circles that combine your passion, your mission, your profession, and your vocation. And together they come together to form your dharma. It's a Sanskrit word that represents and encompasses our soul's purpose or our life's path. I'm going to pause for a moment and just see if you guys have any questions. Yes. Good. I'm glad you guys are relating. So this is a good time to also grab out your pen and your paper because, again, these 4 that each represent passion, mission, profession, vocation, when we bring them together, form our life's path, form our soul's purpose. And some of us are born knowing this is what I'm going to do with my life. Does anyone on here fall into that category? I just was born knowing this is what I am going to do. This is what I'm meant to do on this planet. Some people have that experience. I personally didn't have that experience, but for others of us, it's just less concrete. So I still had my own flavor, my own version of that, but it was much less concrete. I didn't say, I am going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to be a teacher. Of course, I had like dreams of those things, probably all of them when I was a little girl. But for me, it was really less concrete and it didn't have a job title. There was no job title. It was more of a pull towards something. It was more of an intuitive feeling and sensation in my body. And if we choose to go down the path of discovery, there's no telling how long it may take for us to get clear on what that thing actually is, whether it has a job title or not. Just the clarity, the feeling of clarity within us. And that's where I love supporting my clients most. I love, love, love helping them to finally stop searching and start serving. To stop searching and start serving. I love helping them feel confident as fuck in their message. And on a deep level, we all crave clarity in all areas of our life, but especially in our purpose. We want to feel of service. We want to feel like our life has meaning. So I want you to journal on these questions today. The first question is, what do you love? What do you love? Write it all out. Write it all out. Just stream of consciousness right now. You can't fuck this up. I love dogs. I love nature. I love helping people. I love the color purple. I love my family. I love seeing the bright spots hidden in the darkness. What do you love? And take a moment to pause and to consider this. You can always come back to it. We're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep moving. But I really want you to stream of consciousness, just put onto the page, what do you love? And then I'd love to see it in the chat box as well. That'll help me guide you guys. There's 4 questions that we're beginning with here, and they all have to do with those circles I was talking about. So the next question, or next circle, what are you good at? This is a triggering question for some of us because we question, am I actually good at that? Who am I to say I'm good at that? I want you to release the filter today and imagine your higher self answering this question, imagining your best friend answering this question for you. What would those people say about you? What would your higher self, the most pure, truthful, full of wisdom part of you, part of yourself say? And then just flow. I am good at learning new things. I'm good at helping people. I'm a good mentor. I'm a good mom. I am good at being creative. I am innovative. And let those thoughts come out onto the page. What am I good at? You may feel you're naturally good at these things. You may feel like you've practiced enough to get good at these things. The third question is, what does the world need? What does the world need? The world needs peace. The world needs healing. The world needs love. The world needs more emotional intelligence. The world needs more enlightened leaders. In your opinion, in your view, your perspective of the world, what does the world need? Write those down onto your page. Again, feel free to come back at a later time and also expand upon these, but also trust that the first things that you write are coming out with purpose, with intention, and with meaning. The 4th question, what can you be paid for? And remember that paid, when we think of paid, we think of money, right? Naturally. But money is just a form of energy. Money is just a neutral energy. And when you think of being paid for something, another way of perceiving this is there can be an exchange of energy for whatever it is that you have. If it's money, great, wonderful. Then you can make a business. You can create a business around it. But at the core, I want you to think of, what can I be paid for? As in, there's going to be an exchange of energy with me and somebody. I can give and I can receive. I can give and I can receive. Give, receive, give, receive. I can be paid to help people. I can be paid to learn new things. I can be paid to mentor people. I can be paid to care for children. I can be paid to write about my life experience. What can you be paid for? Where can there be an exchange of energy? Okay. Those 4 questions are meant to activate your ikigai, your reason for being, by not just looking at one of those categories, but instead looking at all of them, and especially noticing where there can be overlap in those. Okay. Just going to give you guys another second. Yeah, Jenny says, I knew I was going to be a healer, but my journey started as an enabler. That's so interesting. Yes. Shannon says, kindness, love, compassion, more nature enthusiast, honesty, truth. I think this is in relation to what does the world need right now? So good. Okay. So next, I want to take this a little bit deeper and get more specific within your current or future business, because you're here because you're either currently an empath entrepreneur, that's who this training is for, or you're an aspiring empath entrepreneur. Maybe you identify with the empath energy, but you don't know what you want to create yet. And this is really to invite you to get clear on what that is that you're most passionate about, and that falls into those categories and answers the question, what do I love? What am I good at? What does the world need? What can I be paid for? So that you get to take that thing that you're so passionate about and let it be something that supports your lifestyle. So whether you are a current or aspiring or future empath entrepreneur and business owner, let's go deeper. Let's get more specific. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 more questions for you. And I'm going to roll through them fairly quickly, but I want you to take time today to reflect on each one. The first question is, what is your pain to triumph story? What have you been through in your life? What have you overcome personally? Have you, like myself, experienced deep grief? Have you, like myself, experienced chronic illness? Have you experienced divorce? Have you experienced financial stress and strain? Have you experienced childhood trauma? Have you experienced being lost, stuck, and confused in your career path? What pain to triumph story do you personally have? And I want to say, very important, that it doesn't have to be that you are at the end point, in the finish line, in that pain to triumph story. I'm not. My story continues. My story goes on. I continue to evolve. So I'm not, at this perfect ending, finish line, but I've still experienced so much growth and I've overcome so much in my story. So I want you to think about that in the context of your life. Number 2, what problem do you solve? Current or aspiring business owners, your business is going to stay alive if you solve a problem. Because why do people hire you? To provide solutions or inspiration or mentorship. So what problem do you solve? One of the problems that I solve in my business is the people come to me and they say, I don't know how to awaken my intuition. I don't know how to tap into my inner wisdom. What's the problem I solve? Well, I help them do that. I help them awaken their intuition. Another problem I solve in my business is I don't know how to grow a business. I have an idea. I feel creative. I feel inspired to take action. What the hell do I do? What problem do I solve? I come in and I show you exactly what to do step by step to grow your successful and financially sustainable business. If you don't know what problem you solve, it's okay, but you definitely want to find and discover the answer to this question. Third question, what do people ask you about most often? So this is a really good question to ask ourselves, because if people are naturally coming to you to get support, they're already in some way, consciously or unconsciously, seeing you as the expert, the influencer, the guide on some issue. Like, you're knowledgeable. They trust you with that question, or they think you're going to have an answer. So what do people ask you about most often? People ask me a lot about how to protect their energy. I also get asked a lot, how did I build my online community and presence? In the beginning of my business, I was getting asked a lot how I healed autoimmune disease. What are people asking you most often? Friends, family, random people on social media, whoever it is, coworkers, friends at the yoga studio, strangers at the yoga studio. What are they asking you? Number 4, what do you love to help people with? So what do you just love to do to help people, to be of service to the world? I love, what do I love? I love fostering dogs. I got a big old dog right here on the floor next to me right now. So it's not necessarily people, but you could insert the world. What do you love to help the world? How do you love to help the world? I love to help the world by helping animals. Does that relate to my business? No. Would I still write it down in that answer? Yes, because there's going to be more than one. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to, just like those first 4 questions with Ikigai, these ones are helping us go even more narrow, even more niche in what we're creating and the messaging that we're putting out into the world. So I'm going to cross off fostering dogs if that's not actually something that I want to create into a business. So what is something else that I love to help people with? I love to help people. I already told you guys this on today's training, but I love to help people find clarity. I love it. I love it. I got a Voxer message from a client the other day and she was like, holy shit, Sarah, you just put into words everything I've been trying to figure out and put into words for the last year. I'm like, oh, that makes me so fucking happy to know that that level of clarity was achieved by my client just by reflecting back to them really their own stuff, their own truth, their own messages that are coming up. So what do you love to help people with? Number 5, who is your target or ideal client? Or this is also known as your ICA, ideal client avatar. So some of you already may know this. Some of you maybe have never done this exercise before. I think this exercise can be done in the wrong way and the right way. The wrong way to do this exercise is to say what color shirt your ideal client is wearing. The right way is to consider, what are the pain points that my ideal client is experiencing? If you do have a specific age range, like let's say you're working with children, then you would write that down. But you want to get as detailed as possible on who is the person you want to help. Who is your ideal client? If you could get, let's say you do want to start a coaching business, which I'm assuming that's most of you. If you want to start a coaching business and you want to help people one-on-one individually, who would be the person on the other side of the computer, the phone, video chat, that you would be so freaking pumped to help, that you would be able to easily, effortlessly guide through their healing or through how to build a business or how to heal from chronic illness. Likely, I'm just going to throw this out there, likely that person is you 5 years ago. It's just an earlier version of you in most cases, I would say, because it makes perfect sense that we would want to help an earlier version of ourselves, the person who's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps behind us, because we were just there. We can empathize with that deeply, and we can be highly supportive to that person because we speak their language and we know what they're going through. So who is your ideal client that you want to work with? And let's say you're a business owner and you're like rolling your eyes at me right now and you're like, Sarah, I've done this 5 million times and it's still the same person. Well, if it's still the same goddamn person and you're not getting results in your business and you're not getting paid and people aren't hiring you, then it's time to redo this exercise and make edits and make changes. I mean that with all the love in the world. But if you are rolling your eyes like I've done this a million times, then it's not working and it's time to redo it. It's time to edit it. It's time to pivot. It's time to shift. Maybe it's time to get more specific, more narrow, more clear. So this person knows when you talk to them, you're talking to them. You're not talking to the whole world. I know you empath entrepreneurs out there want to heal the whole world, but we have to start one step at a time, and we have to start with a clear, concise message so that the people who we can help most know we're speaking their language and know we're talking to them. And it makes it so much easier for them to trust us and to say yes to our offers. Number 6. That was right. If your niche, the area in which you want to help, the community in which you want to serve is pretty common, what are people saying about it? Where are there gaps? Where can you fill in space? Okay, so let's say, because again, this is partially like my journey, my story. Let's say that your niche is autoimmune disease. There's this big basket of all the people that fall into autoimmune disease. Well, do you know, the way you can find out is go look at books on autoimmune disease and look at the reviews. Go to influencers on autoimmune disease on Instagram, see what people are commenting on their posts. If you already have a community that is autoimmune disease, what are people telling you? And when you ask what are people saying, you can see where there's gaps that may need to be filled. I did this with my business. Autoimmune disease, big basket. That was my niche. But the gap that I saw within autoimmune disease healing was emotional healing, was releasing emotional inflammation. And I ended up writing a whole book about it right here. 21 Days of Healing, how to release emotional inflammation when you are a person experiencing chronic illness. That is super specific. And the person who realizes, oh my gosh, I'm at a plateau, I'm stuck, I've done the AIP diet, I've tried all these crazy therapies to heal from autoimmune disease, they're going to look at that specific gap that you're filling and go, ooh, give me that. I'll pay you for that. I would love that support. Please teach me. Because you're bringing a different conversation to the table than what they've been hearing over and over and over again, that they probably have already tried or maybe hasn't worked yet for them. And the last question, number 7, is to add on to what we just said, that gap. What was the missing part for you in your healing? And this applies more to if your ideal client is a previous version of you, which again, I assume most of you, your ideal client is a previous version of you. What was the gap? What was the missing link? What was the missing piece that once you realized, something shifted for you? Was it a dietary change? Was it a supplement? Was it essential oils? Was it emotional healing? Was it spiritual healing? Was it your intuition? Was it inner child healing? What was that missing part for you in your own healing path? Not only do you have a powerful story around that you can now tell and share with the world, but likely you also have a healing technique or modality to help other people because you've been through it. That goes back up to your pain to triumph story. Okay. Now, I want you guys to put any questions into the chat box that you may have on any answers, anything that's coming up. Looks like so far there's just been some answers being shared, which is beautiful. And in a second, I'm going to share with you today's activity, like take home activity. Okay, so there's a lot of juice in this training. And my hope for you is that at the end of this introspection, this journal exercise, this getting reflective and asking yourself more specific questions, that you come out understanding your ikigai, your reason for being, your soul's purpose, your dharma, how to be of service to the world in a clear and concise way, so we know what the fuck your message is. And you're not just trying to help everyone on the planet and then likely not converting anyone into paying clients and sales either. We get to, during this time, use breakdown for breakthrough. And again, I trust that you're here because you're looking for the bright spots. You're looking for the opportunities to rise up, to change and to shift, even though it might be uncomfortable, even though like you, like myself, are probably experiencing some really hard emotions during this time. So the activity is to write out, based on everything that you have written so far. The intention is that you have more of a defined message and defined ideal client, defined niche of who you're going to help. Now that you have that, the activity, the exercise is to write out, and you could take a piece of paper, put a line down the middle, and on one half of the page, I want you to write at the very top, pain points. And on the other side, the second column, I want you to write desired outcome. And now I want you to go deeper into this person's story, this person's life that you want to help, that you know you can help. And on that left-hand column, write out all the pain points, AKA challenges, that they are experiencing right now. And if it's you 5 years ago, think about what were you experiencing at that time. And on the left, the right hand, the desired outcomes. How do they want to feel? What results do they want to achieve? Where are you now that you want to help them get to now? And write out those desired outcomes. And once you have this page with all those pain points and all those desired outcomes, your message is going to get even more crystal clear. And with that clarity in your messaging, you're going to start to attract in way, way more people to your community. All right. After you do that, I also want you to maybe snap a picture, type it out, and share it with us in the comments of today's live stream so that I can come back and read them before tomorrow's training and tomorrow's live stream. Who has questions? Looks like a lot of you, your ideal client is a younger version of you. And like I said, that's probably most of you, because that is the person you relate to. It makes a lot of sense. The overlap is helping to heal others and learning things about the universe and life to help guide people. Good. I always knew I would talk to many people and help them, but took several journeys as I discovered how to do that. I think that's really common as well, Amy, is even you guys can see if you've been around for the last almost 4 years now in my business, you've seen me evolve. And as I've personally evolved, my business has evolved, but also I've continued to get more and more clear on what that ikigai, that dharma, that soul's purpose actually is. We all got to start somewhere. So that's also a piece of advice I have for you, is start somewhere. Even if you're not 110% confident, is this what I'm going to do forever? Is this truly the direction I want to take? Just start somewhere, because you can pivot and you can evolve. If you don't evolve, it's going to get fucking boring. I've loved that my business has been able to evolve over time. And it's fun to see it and to watch it grow with me in each evolution that I go through in my own personal life and in my healing process and in my business too. All right. So, are you ready to look back at this time in history when the planet needed healing and see it as the moment that you decided to rise the fuck up and share your gifts with humanity? Are you ready to step into your next level of leadership with a super, super clear message, super, super clear mission, how you help, how you serve, who you serve? And do you believe that your message needs to be shared with the world? Maybe now more than ever. If so, I invite you all to join me inside Empath Entrepreneur Academy. It's open for enrollment. There are 5 main deliverables being offered at a ridiculous price. The first is a 30-day course with 35 video lessons called Launch Your Wellness Biz that takes you step by step on what the fuck to do, especially if you know you want to do something but you don't know how to do it. I share my screen on almost every single lesson and literally show you. The second deliverable is basically podcasting 101, how to create a thriving podcast to get your message out even further into the world. Because I know you're sick of always saying, I'll help you, and putting your own passion to the side. It is no longer the time for that. Number 3 is human design for entrepreneurs. So we're looking at your unique energetic type and strategy to optimize your energy so it's sustainable for you in your business and also the way in which you do sales and marketing. So it never has to feel yucky. I am anti-salesy yuckiness. Number 4, content prompts. And these can be used for emails, for blog posts, for Instagram stories, for Instagram posts, any content you want to put out into the world, and you can repurpose it a million times over. These are the content prompts that I personally use to create magnetic content that actually people read and that converts into sales. And the last, number 5, is 3 group coaching calls. So these are like a mini mastermind for all of us to come together on a Zoom call like this, but you're going to see my face and I'm going to see your face, and we're going to talk in real time, and we're going to have some hot seats. You can ask all of your questions. I can guide you through any pieces where you feel stuck or blocked or unsure within your message and within your business in the launching and scaling of your business. There are payment plans, very flexible payment plans available. And I'm going to drop the link into the comments below for you to check out all the details. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2 of the activated training for empath entrepreneurs. Again, your homework tonight is to go deeper into those questions and then to take your piece of paper, draw that line down the middle, and really reflect on what the pain points and the desired outcomes are of your ideal client. The more clear you are on your message, the more clear it comes off to the world. I love you, and I will see you all on tomorrow's training.